Fuck's sake. Man didn't even jump off, and I've already flipped out.
Less than 5 seconds. First swear word.
All right, at least there wasn't any swear words. But welcome back to the
There
social
was.
media derby.
There
everyone.
was, yeah.
Was there? You swore?
Yeah, you did. You said
man.
one.
You did.
Christ.
And they try and make me the problem.
Oh, mate. Hosting 0 out of 10. Apologies, guys. Welcome back to the social media derby. We've got a great episode this week. It was going to be a full house, but internets are bugging out all over the gaff. So we've got 6 of the 7. We're going to chat through both of Chelsea's games since we didn't analyse that stinker 0-0 last week. And we've got Rhys in the building to chat about the West Ham game yesterday as well. We'll go through the Arsenal United game and then also chat through the previews for the rest of game week 2. But yeah, welcome back, lads. We've got Rhys, Jonty, Razor, Khem, and Nash in the building. How are you lot doing?
Very
Not
good.
bad.
Man. How are you, man?
Yeah, decent apart from that intro. But yeah, before we get into the episode, for those of you watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like a video, leave a comment down below, share if you can. For those listening on Spotify, Apple, or any other podcasting platform, please follow, give us a 5-star review. And in the light of last week's live stream, we're going to add a disclaimer to the beginning of the app. Yeah, all of our views are our own individual views, don't reflect anyone else's opinions. And for the most part, it's all banter and entertainment. So yeah, hopefully that can get remembered when we go off on rants and different chats throughout the episodes. But yeah, let's get into it then. Let's chat Chelsea. Rhys has timed his appearance or comeback on the show perfectly. Last week, it was 0-0 at home to Palace. Should have really been a 1-0 defeat, really. That Eze goal should have stood, in my opinion. But yeah, you got the 0-0. And then this week, you've got a 5-1 win away at West Ham. Rhys, we'll start with you, bro. How do you feel about the 2 games? Give us your viewpoint so far.
Yeah, obviously, we'll start with Palace, seeing as you want to get into that so much. Yeah, obviously, with Palace, I feel like it was... first game nerves, maybe start of the season. The attack wasn't flowing as fluid as it could have been, and yeah, when Palace are a good team, I'll admit we were lucky to come away with a point there because the goal really should have stood, in my opinion. But yeah, I just think maybe going forward that game, there might have been a lot of hype because before the game there was a lot of build up about presentations and celebrations for being world champs and that. So obviously there was, the fanfare was going strong. So maybe the nerves got to the players and because we couldn't even provide anything for João Pedro, which shows how much we were lacking going forward. So I think that game, I'll just put it down to maybe first game of the season nerves and Palace actually being a good team. Like, let's not say Palace roll over for anyone. They don't. Ask Khem. He saw it firsthand, didn't he? I'll take that. I'll take a point to Palace, and it's something to build on. It's not a defeat, is it? So even though it could have been, and then we'll get on to West Ham. I think the positive, definitely a win without Palmer is good because obviously we rely heavily on him. I thought the goals were good. Set piece goals, obviously well worked. And I thought the Enzo goal was a good goal as well. Great hold up play from the lap. So everyone's getting involved and playing well in transition. Shalaba, quality defender. Played well, tossing as well, starting to get Fofana back. So it's starting to look a bit better than it has been. And if anything, if Palmer's got a proper injury, maybe we don't have to rush him back so much. Maybe we can just let him rest up as much as he can so he can come back to full effect. So I'd say a win without Palmer is very good, but also I would say West Ham isn't the benchmark for me to see how we're going to do this season. It's the top 6. We need wins against the top 6. And then we always seem to come away with draws or defeats against these sides. So that's going to really show where we're at this season. But yeah, I'll take that. Nice confidence boost for the team, and we'll roll on next week.
Yeah, no, I think that's a pretty good summary. I think Palace definitely proved to
Also,
be
sorry,
a good
special
player.
shout
Go on,
out
bro.
to the kit because
Yes, yeah.
yeah,
That kit is
amazing.
unreal. It might be kit of the season, but we can maybe do an app around that and grade all of the kits. Go on, Ray. Ray, what you saying, Razor?
I just wanted to quickly ask because I noted down a specific sentence you said, Rhys. Set piece goals equals obviously well worked. That's what you said.
Right.
Cool.
I just
Cool.
said
No,
well
I
worked
just wanted to
goals.
check. I agree with
I
you.
said
I
well
agree.
worked goals.
No, you said they were set piece goals, which showed that they were well worked.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like you were saying. I just wanted clarification, man.
Don't worry, we will be there. We will be there. Let's see how many other goals you score in the future.
No, it's not even that. It's just I like a set piece goal too.
I know. Well,
Look at the Stoke City fans piping
Some
up.
people find them bored. Someone said we're Stoke Newington FC because we keep scoring from corners. Do you know what I mean? I like a good goal from a corner. Do you know what your centre back should do? Wake up. Wake up. It was a great goal. I saw it yesterday. Lovely. Cucurella shouldn't be winning near post headers, but
well,
just wait until you see Liam Delap get out his dad's long throw.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna complete their final form will be completed.
Yeah.
Then you guys will have a run for your money with all the parties gone now, so you don't have the long throws. They might have one up on you on the set piece game. But now I want to open the question out to everyone, yeah, because obviously I know some of you watch it live, some definitely have watched the highlights back. The question I've got is: were West Ham terrible or were Chelsea amazing? Because I can't work out which one it is because that was just, it felt like anyway to me, I was leaning more towards West Ham being, I'm not taking credit away from Chelsea. They did what they had to do, and running up the score with 5 goals is great. I wish we could do that. We haven't done that in ages, isn't it, Nash? But like I felt like West Ham just rolled over. Apart from the first 10 minutes where they looked pretty good, apparently. After that, when I tuned into the game, it was one-way traffic. Chelsea were just mashing them up, and they didn't offer anything. So what do you lot think, apart from Rhys, obviously, who's given his analysis there? Do you guys think it was West Ham being diabolical or Chelsea playing really well?
I think like when I was watching those first 20 minutes, like the big thing that stood out to me was it was not so much that West Ham were doing well, because it was an even game at the beginning, and had like Todibo not been half a foot offside, like you would have been 2-1 down. So like from my point of view, like it wasn't so much that West Ham were being really, really good, but like Chelsea's defense, that first 25 minutes was awful. Like you were leaving space all over the place, and you couldn't seem to track runners. Like your centre backs, I think Tosin was not good. And honestly, I feel like the only chances that West Ham got were just given to them by Chelsea. But then the other way around, I feel like West Ham were just putting things on a plate for you to score. And then once they were like 2-1, 3-1 down, it was game over, and they didn't seem to even try and shut up shop. They were just go in again and just leaking goals in. So honestly, like for defensive quality, that might have been one of the worst games I've seen in a while from both sides. And I think it does compound to me the idea that, like Rhys, I mean, I know you've got 25 centre backs in your change room, but you need to buy another one that's good, because Tosin was not it. And even with Caicedo, your player of the season DM and all this, that, and the other, even though he can't seem to get in the actual team of the season, he wasn't managing to make up for it. So you might need another centre back, man. This is where I agree with Enzo. You might need one more.
I have said that though, in terms of Colwill being out, it does weaken us. And if we do want to compete, like we do need a quality centre back to come in, a commanding one, because we do have like we've got centre backs there, like we are covered, but they're just not good enough, or not that they're not good enough, but I don't think they'll help us get over the line for anything we want to compete with in the future. So if we want to, we should go into the market again, as mad as it sounds.
Yeah, I think, I get kind of what John's just saying, but I from what I saw anyway, for like 60 minutes of the game, Caicedo looked pretty good to me, and the midfield in general looked pretty good. The defense was definitely, obviously, must have been a bit shaky to allow West Ham to score one and then get an offside goal. But from what I saw, Chalobah was pretty decent, at least defensively, and he didn't look that bad defensively. But yeah, it's mad how that one Colwell injury is just now you need a defender when you've got like quite a few defenders. Seems like they're all injury prone though, isn't it? Fofana gets long injuries. Now Colwell's injured. Chalobah's injured sometimes. You just need someone who's reliable, I think, in there more than even like a crazy level of quality.
I think Trevor's been quite reliable recently.
Yeah. What about Gahey, man? What about Gahey? Gahey's on the market. Liverpool looking at him. Yeah. Ex-Chelsea boy. You could bring him back. Surely you've got some sort of buyback clause or something.
Man,
I don't think there's a buyback. Maybe there's matching.
Find someone else.
You might want to go to.
Look out, Khem. I knew that would put Khem up. Now go and snatch your chain. You did it like a couple seasons back. You know what the drill is.
Just go get another 18-year-old from Brazil.
I think the first 20 minutes of the West Ham game, it was shaky. Like I think the atmosphere might have got to us as well, and they scored, and we made the mistake. But after that, once we sort of got a foothold, it was quite easy. But yeah, I think it maybe because West Ham were a bit poor, so let's not use them as the benchmark.
Yeah. All right. What are we gonna make of the new signings then? Because obviously Delap started. I don't think I came off the bench, didn't he? I think in the Palace game. So you've got Delap, you've got Esteval who started as well. What do the rest of you lot make of those new signings? Do you think they're gonna bang? Because I think we should, there's no point talking about João Pedro at this time. He looks pretty solid, right? Like all of us, I think, agree that he's going to be a decent signing. But what do you make of those other lot that started this game?
Esteval moved me, man. I see the vision. That guy's going to be special, and that annoys me so much.
I think Rhys might have made a good point though. Like with the signings and with the defensive stuff as well, I think there's an element of it which is like, okay, take the game as it was. What did you see? How do people play? But then also like West Ham look like they're in disarray, bro. Like I don't even know how fair I think. I do agree that Chelsea probably need a first team quality centre back. I don't know how fair it is to base it on that yesterday because it's just like they halfway through the first half, West Ham had given up. Do you know what I mean? I think it was quite difficult. Like João Pedro was like weighing them in, like they were getting running on like through the channels. It was peak. He looked great. Liam Delap still looks a bit lost, in my opinion. He still looks a bit confused. He did what he did well. Like he won a couple battles. He was dueling well. He's definitely willing to run. Like he's a hard worker. He looks like he's trying. I just don't know how well he fits in that system. Like obviously time will tell. And again, I don't think when they're giving up so much possession in midfield and you've got like Caicedo like getting in crazy positions inside the area, it's probably a little bit difficult for him to establish himself as like a target man in that kind of scenario where like everyone's in the box. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, he still looks a bit Bambi on ice to me. Like just kind of like, am I here? Is this really happening? Maybe like the occasion has gotten to him. But yeah, I haven't really seen it with him. The other signings, like they all look amazing. Estevo, man like Stevo, the South American man. He looked quality. Even people giving him stick about I think he lost the ball on the way to the goal that West Ham scored. I like that. I like a bit of like confidence and arrogance. Like you will have your moment in the Prem where you get taught like you can't be doing that here, brother. You can't do that here, brother. And he's had it straight away. And I think he's done well to bounce back. Kind of reminds me of the City centre back that came on. Like was it last season? And immediately was the reason that they shipped to goal. Do you know what I mean? My man it looked like he had head loss in it. He struggled to get back into the game. Obviously, it's a lot more difficult, I would say, probably when you're a defender. But yeah, Chelsea signings, looks like you guys, FM Regen squad, just keeps delivering, bruv. It's very frustrating to echo Nash. Like, I'm just like, why? How?
But you know who I want to... Do you want to know who I want to bring up, though? Like, he's not a new signing, but he was one that looked a little shaky last year that I think played really, really well. And that was Neto, man. Pedro Neto was balling out yesterday. And I didn't realise he was that strong because he was bouncing people off the ball as well. I think he did it to the youth at least a couple of times, put in some really good balls as well. Like he looked good. And I agree with your point on Delap. I think it doesn't help him though to have like João Pedro in the 10, because I feel like João Pedro is a very, very attacking 10, and he almost is going to be past you. Like he's not. You're not even going to be leading the line. Like João Pedro is going to be. He's going to be going at it, and it maybe helped João Pedro to have like a target man there to kind of take some of the attention away from him, and he ended up getting free a couple of times. But I think if you've got like Cole Palmer maybe playing the 10, I feel like that would help maybe Delap a bit more to have someone that's going to stay a bit deeper.
100%.
He looked decent to me though, to be honest. But again, he had some nice touches. He linked up the play, I thought, quite well. But yeah, I think him and João Pedro as a 2 probably isn't the ideal combo for him to perform the best. Definitely having more of a playmaker in the 10 behind him, whether it's Palmer or someone else like that, is probably going to help him more. But I thought he looked all right, man.
Or Xavi Simmons.
Oh yeah, or Garnacho, don't forget him as well.
Yeah, Rhys, we need that bag. We need that bag.
It's loading, man.
M's,
It's loading.
50 M's.
It's loading, bro. I'm telling you that WhatsApp that Rhys dropped. No way is it happening. It's getting reloaded the hell out of and pinned to death once that 50 million hits the bank account. I'm telling you. All right. Anyway, Chelsea got 4 points. Not too bad. Definitely bounced back after that Crystal Palace game. And yeah, West Ham. Boy, let's quickly wrap up this. How long's Potter staying, lads? We've chatted about it a little bit before we started recording. It's not looking good, bruv. I've got to be honest. It's looking really bad for him. So, do you reckon he's going to see this out, or if not, when do you reckon he's gone?
Match week 5,
personally
bruv.
think
He's
he's
finished.
I think he's gone by before or after the international break.
Yeah, but there's 2 international breaks, aren't there? Isn't there one like in September, and then there's one again like in October? You think the next one, yeah?
Yeah, he'll be on LinkedIn
Brighton
very soon.
Very few days.
Yeah, but I mean, one game seems too short, guys. I think
no, he's gone by the time that we play them. So October 4th, I think it's like the 8th fixture of the league of the season. He's gone by that week because they're going to play Wolves next week. They're going to get slapped. They're going to play Forest the week after that. They're going to get slapped. They're going to play Tottenham the week after that. They're going to get slapped. Then they're going to play Crystal Palace and get slapped. And then it's Everton. And this is the big one. Can they beat stinky Everton? I doubt it. I think Moyes has got something in store for them, and that's going to be the end of the road for them. They're going to be like, okay, we got rid of Moyes because of his defensive football, and he's just banged us up with Grealish and Ndiaye and all these dons. It's all over. We still got enough time to stay up. Let's get a new manager in. So I'm calling it by, game week 7 or 8. He's done.
I don't even know if he gets that far, man, because the 3 of those Chelsea played well. They looked like they were taking a real direct approach, but also on the other side, West Ham, Wan-Bissaka at the back looked like he didn't care. The 3 scrappy corner goals, like, it's poor. They don't even have a set piece coach, so clearly, there's 2 jobs. There's 2 jobs going at West Ham United at the moment, man. It looked poor. I'm surprised the fans didn't leave earlier, if I'm honest. Like 3 of those goals. Rhys, credit to you guys. Obviously, you got to have the desire and win the second ball, but they're poor, man. If your own team consider that, you'd crash out. But to see it 3 times like that, the keeper might as well resign. Not resign, just transfer request yourself, man. I don't know what he's doing. It was some bad goals. I didn't see the game, so I'm not really gonna go too far on it. It's obviously based off highlights, but 3 goals were terrible to concede, man. Back post, keeper flapping. It's not a good look. They're not playing for the manager, clearly.
Yeah, and I mean, all of the goals were pretty poor goals to concede, to be honest. But all right, so you think sooner that I think somewhere in between what Khem's saying and Jonty's saying is probably realistic, because Jonty's gone a bit far with everyone slapping them. Wolves look shaky, right? I don't think there's a guarantee anyone slapping anyone in that. And then what was the next game after that? Forest are about to sack Nuno, and all hell's about to break loose there. And by the way, if they bring in Ange, that is the worst profiling of manager Wood squad ever. You've got like a back 5 that have got no pace and like low block, and he's about to put them on the halfway line. If that happens, all hell's breaking loose. So I'm not guaranteeing Forest being a solid outfit if that happens. So you never know. He might be able to S-house his way until probably not the Arsenal game. I think that might be too far, but I think game 5 or 6 he might last until, I think.
They lost 3-0 at Sunderland last week, man. Their goal difference is already like -7, man.
But he's not managing the game though, and this is what you got to realize, right? When you're free, like this is what Ten Hag should have done when you lot were getting slapped fucking 4-0, and then it went on to 7-0. Like, all right, it's time to shut up the shop now. We've lost the game, but let's not get embarrassed. He doesn't care. Like he's losing 2-0 to Sunderland. Man's not making defensive substitutions. He's losing 3-1 to Chelsea. He's not making defensive substitutions. He just wants to keep going. If he keeps doing that, I know what you said about Wolves. I know what you said about Nottingham Forest, but they can score goals. And I'm sorry, Strand Larson and Chris Wood have got something in store for them. So he needs to learn to manage the game. I know that's a big Arteta, this, that, and the other, defensive negative substitutions. I'm sorry, take it from us. Manage the fucking game.
Yeah, man. He's running out of time. He's already lost 2 of his Horcruxes, man. He's gonna go soon.
I think you guys are getting quite optimistic, to be honest. I think I've got the Jonty. Like they will get slapped by bare guys and then leave. I think Jonty's like timeline is almost perfect just because that's how it is. They'll have the new manager bounce when we play them. But honestly,
conspiracy time.
Yeah, it's a fix, bruv. It's a fix. No, honestly, I know a lot of West Ham fans because obviously, like where I grew up and that. Yeah, these men are in. They are despondent. They're in the trenches. Like the stadium.
They're always like that, though, bro.
No, man was saying like if I was West Ham, one of you said if I was a West Ham fan, I would have left the stadium earlier. Impossible. Because them man left as pretty much as soon as the offside goal got disallowed and the next one went in. They were literally like, "Yep, I know what kind of day it's gonna be." Like he's lost the fans are gone. The players clearly like don't care. Bissaka looked like he was at like a uni freshers rave in 2012, just doing the Zonto like by the touchline. That's what he looked like he was doing. He wasn't playing ball. He was just making moves. He was just trying to like stay near what was going on in it. Like it was peak. Like, because how can you concede 3 times and it's the same defender at fault all 3 times? Like, and then the manager doesn't hook him or bring someone else on or change the tactic. I don't think he makes it to like October, man. I'll be honest.
Just Stinker wasn't hooked. I know.
Just Stinker.
Well, Tadibo got hooked though. No, Tadibo was the one who caught it for both of them. To be fair, and he was poor, but. Honestly, poor. I would have hooked them both and the goalie, everyone. I would have changed the whole back 5, to be honest.
I would have put my boots on.
But
really be something out of a keeper like that. That would destroy him forever.
Mate, he was destroying himself. And Hermanson I said it in the group chat. He's sometimes prime Buffon and sometimes he moves like Roy Carroll or Taibbi or one of those guys. Like he's got such an extreme level. It's either unbelievable wonder saves everywhere. Or he's just like flapping at everything and he looks terrible. And at the moment, he's looking like the latter. So yeah, West Ham. I hear you guys. I think the only thing we can guarantee is he's not going to last long. Like, I can't see how he's gonna survive. But it's just a case of when. All right, let's go on to the social media derby then. The United Arsenal game from last week finished 1-0. Calafiori header, I think, in like the early first 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes. And then, the game was pretty back and forth. No major, massive chances, but it was a decent game from that perspective. You guys get the dub. What did you guys make of it? We'll start off with the victors then. Jonts or Razor, you guys jump in. Khem, mute yourself. Let us know. What did you guys think of the game?
It was an awful game to watch. Genuinely an awful game. I predicted it was going to be, and it was. I've got to give props to you lot. You probably had the better of things. I'm going to say that neither team though had clear chances. Like I don't remember one big chance or like high XG opportunity for either of us. Like you probably got into the better positions and then essentially did nothing with it. I know Raya had probably one or 2 good saves, but I don't think they were clear-cut chances. They kind of came out of nowhere. And it ends up being the big thing that we get this for, and the big thing that you get this for, being the deciding of the game essentially, right? It's like we do all right on a set piece. You lot have a goalkeeper that flaps about, does his best fucking eagle impression, and the goal goes in the back of the net, and that's that. And I feel like after that goal went in, we may as well just close the game there and said, all right, that's the only interesting thing that is going to happen in this game. Let's just cut our losses and move on to whatever else is next. Because, yeah, the rest of the game was awful. So I'm just happy to get out of there. It wasn't a good game for essentially any of our players. I feel like whenever a goalkeeper gets man of the match, you know this was not a good game. So I don't think there's anything to talk about when it comes to Arsenal. I feel like you guys definitely looked a lot better than you had looked last season, but you still need to be able to put the ball in the back of the net. And we'll see if you can do that. Sesko, or Tesco, as Khem calls him, had an interesting little snippet there at the end. We'll see if he can do anything with it. But yeah, it was an awful game, and that's about as much as I want to say about it.
Completely. I think it was, if I wasn't a fan of one of the teams in that game, I probably would have switched it off, just because it wasn't super like, oh my God, this is beautiful football. It looked very nervy, which obviously you could expect to a certain extent with the first day of the season. I think like United actually played quite well, because it's like you're playing, they've got the potential for things to turn a bit left there, you know what I mean? Like fans don't know what to expect. Home game against one of the top sides, do you know what I'm saying? And you haven't had a great Premier League campaign last season. So I think they showed like quite a lot of character in terms of coming out and actually like challenging, chasing the game, playing like quite well. And to be honest, I would say United probably played better than Arsenal in that game. Like fought a little bit more, looked a little bit sharper. But they didn't win. And it's so beautiful, because that's been Arsenal's story so many times. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we should have got a penalty. Yeah, the ref hates us. Yeah, this didn't go away. But we put the ball in the back of the net and we went home with 3 points. So, yeah, from an Arsenal fan perspective, probably, you know, nothing to be like super overwhelmingly happy about other than we got the 3 points. But yeah, I think from a United fan perspective, a lot of encouraging signs. I think United looked less like a banter side and more like a top 6 side again, which should worry everyone else.
Yeah, I'll share my thoughts in a minute, but I agree with you two both. Nash, what did you make of it? Obviously, on the other side of things, on the United side, there's been quite a few different fan reactions on the United side. To be honest, when I've looked on YouTube and on social media, quite a lot of copium. Some people doing the moral victory because of the performance. Where do you land on it?
I guess I'm half despondent but half encouraged. Like the new signings, I see quality, which is something we've sorely lacked at the top half. But then I look at the manager's team selections again, and I'm just like, yo, brother, what are you doing? Like this Ugarte cameo. Oh my God, I don't think I've seen anything so terrible in the last 5 years watching my team, and that's saying a lot because we've been through some dark times. But man. But also, my pick of Euro's gonna be young player of the year. It's looking good, man. That guy is quality. So yeah, there's some things I like, but this manager, I just can't get behind the way he sets up this team. So it's gonna be a struggle for us all season until something either clicks or changes.
But you know what, bro? I when I saw the lineup, I agreed. I was baffled. We chat about it in the group. I couldn't see a world where Casemiro and Bruno in midfield was going to get the better of Arsenal's midfield, even if Zubimendi's new and, you know, he's got to get up to speed. I just thought, yeah, we're going to struggle. But actually, the way the game played out, like it ended up working, right? Like I think the problems.
We held our own.
Yeah, the problems came when we made the subs. When you brought on Ugarte, I think that completely deaded any momentum we had in midfield. Because he can't pass the ball more than 5 yards, right? Like he can't do the switches that Casemiro was doing really well to Mbeumo early in that first half. And we just lost all momentum. I think that little clip that you shared in the group when he's, you know, taking a long ranger from 30 yards when there's a pass on to Mbeumo tells you everything you need to know about that guy in midfield. It's not going to work out, right? You've converted me. I'm like, get Ugarte out of here, right? I've had enough. But I think the lineup in the end worked out better than, like, I understand we were all baffled by some of the decisions, but apart from the goalie choice, which I think ends up kind of semi-deciding the game. The rest of it all got proven to work out pretty well. I even thought Mount in the false nine did really well in that first half.
Yeah, he surprised me, man. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah,
I
think it worked, bro. It worked, but ultimately you don't win, and then that's what you got to be judged on. But yeah, let's get the rival banter jokes in then. Khem, come on, you can unmute. Have at it. What did you think of the game? That's taken an age to unmute himself.
Dramatic entrance.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's delayed. There might be a delay. But
you're in now.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was a boring game, but most of the big matches that tend to be like that sometimes, especially you knew it was going to be your opening fixture for a while, so you're obviously going to be spending a lot of your training camp preparing for that game as well. Arsenal did what they needed to do, beat the lower team, the bottom half team, and just get the win and get out of there. Hopefully all your players are safe, no one's got pneumonia or anything like that, you know, you're not ill, caught any food poisoning from that terrible institution. But I think United, I think Cunha, I'll give him some credit. I think he played really well. I do think he was a good signing for you guys. The keeper, we could go on about him all day long, so I won't waste your time on him. Although, you know, maybe they could have looked at VAR with the goal. I'm sure there was someone being held illegally, dark arts and all that, before Calamari got his goal. But oh well, here we are. There was something that was quite interesting that I noticed here a few times when Brian Burma would be like doing his thing and, you know, cutting in, and you'd expect the overlap guy to sort of give him some space. I noticed Ahmad would run inside quite a bit. I don't know if that's just instinct that he's used to doing. So you might need to work on that just to allow you guys to have better patterns of play, basically. I think it's a bit of copium when you're talking about Mason Mount. I was so shocked to see that guy's name on the team sheet. You know that meme, Ian Reen, right? When he's like, I thought he was dead. That was genuinely me when I saw his name. Because you spent like 90 million on a striker and I'm seeing Mount up front. I couldn't believe it. Maybe he wasn't fit enough to play for an hour or whatever. I don't know. But was there no one else? Well, really?
No, but Mount, I get what you mean. Like long term, if Mount's starting at false nine, we got big issues. But in that game, I thought he played really well, and it actually helped us and supported Casemiro and Bruno in terms of winning that, or having a chance to win that midfield battle. But yeah, long term, you got to have Sesko or Xerxes or whoever else up front. But in the end, that's what I mean. The lineup didn't make sense when it first dropped, but when you actually saw us play, it was effective. Most of the time I will join in on Mount slander, but not on this occasion. I thought he was good, man. So I'm gonna back him for this game.
Arsenal lacked a lot of rhythm, it looked like, as well. So I think if they caught you at a different time, it might have been different. But Gyökeres, that wasn't a great game, man. I'm not gonna lie, but it's day one. It's day one. Can't be.
Season, bro. This is a sign of things to come.
It wasn't a good game from him, though. It wasn't a good game from him. But also, Odegaard didn't have a great game. Neither did Saka. Like there was no.
I don't think a single player on the Arsenal team had a good game. Like we were terrible. And I will say this, right? De Ligt actually dealt with Gyökeres quite well. And one thing that worried me about Gyökeres was he was spending far too much time near him. Right, and I've said this about Højlund. I'll say this about a lot of the big, like the big kind of target man strikers. Like I get that you're a target man and stuff, and that you're trying to win duels and this, that, and the other. But man, try and find some bloody space. Don't just camp out next to the central centre back and expect that you're going to win every single duel. Because I'm sorry, De Ligt is a unit. Like he's a big guy. The place where you're going to have an advantage over him is where there's a bit of space where you can get the ball on the actual ground and then do something with it, right? And one of the best actions that Gyökeres had in that game was when the ball was on the ground, going into like a 50-50 duel, and he bounced into the Netherland. So that's what he needed to focus on, and not all of this long ball grappling. Like this ain't the UFC. You ain't from Chechnya. Get off that. right? Put the ball on the ground and start running, trying to go in behind him. But I understand why that didn't work either, because our transitions were awful. The amount of times that it looked like Odegaard, Saka, and Martinelli had never set foot on a pitch with each other before was shocking. We had like 3 different opportunities where we should have done something with it, and we did absolutely nothing with it. And all of them were just running in straight lines forward, like they were doing like a national air show type of stuff. Like, bro, someone make a run, like an actual proper run. But it was genuinely awful. So yeah, Gyökeres is not a great debut, but I would say that like it wasn't all down to him. I think the opposition was good, and the people that are supposed to feed in and support him were awful. So we'll see how it goes against Leeds. I've got him captain in FPL, so let's hope he does something. He's on pens. Let's hope.
I think you done what you needed to do. 3 points, and then you'll probably look back on it as just you just needed those points. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna bring in Rhys on this one because my only copium that I had for that match was it gave me a little bit similar vibes to Chelsea at home to City first game of the week, first game of the season last year, where Chelsea played first half wasn't great, but second half they were much better and gave a good game of it, and the fans were a lot more optimistic about what Chelsea were going to do in the season. And that's the only takeaway I had. You got to win that game for sure. When you have more of the ball, you have more shots. You do look a little bit more threatening. I know there weren't massive chances, but we looked like if someone was going to score a goal next, it would have been us. But it didn't quite happen. Like Rhys, did you feel that that's a fair comparison, or did you feel differently after that Chelsea City game last season?
No, yeah, definitely. Because you go into these games and your expectations are low. Like you don't feel like you're going to get anything out of it anyway. But if you do look for positives you can take from like the game, and obviously, yeah, with United, you could see there's something to look forward to. You can't use Arsenal as the benchmark because, again, I'm always talking benchmarks, but Arsenal are competing at the top. United are coming back from where they came from last season. So you always have to take those kind of like positive performances. Like if you get a bit of cohesion up front, which it looked much more like Man United were doing throughout, well, the first sort of 60 minutes of the game, I thought they did do well, and I was surprised to see Arsenal score, but then they scored from set piece, so it's not surprising there. But yeah, like I think you have to look at it in 2 ways from both sides. Positives from United from an attacking perspective. Defensively, I mean, yes, the goal could have definitely been avoided. But yeah, you can look at things positive, and then Arsenal can look at it as if we didn't play well, but we're grinding out results and getting the points, and that's what champions do. I've been there, seen it. Yeah, they can take that as much as like they can all be disappointed with the performance. But yeah, first game of the season, Gyökeres, I mean, he spent like half pre-season on holiday because he didn't want to go back to Sporting and train. So he's probably going to take a few games to get into the run of things. I wouldn't even, you can't really go off these things. Like there's so many games to come and teams are shaping. We're not even at the end of the window yet. So I think you have to sort of give these things time. Definitely positives from a United perspective though. And I thought even Mason Mount, I was quite surprised, but I feel like he's got a bit of a point to prove with sort of how things are going and where he sort of came from. So I think that's like that with a lot of people in the United team. I mean, this is Man United. Like sort of anyone sort of growing up wouldn't have even seen them foresee this like drop that they had coming. So like everyone's got a bit of a point to prove. Like, and Amorim called it the worst team he's seen or something. So everyone, like, I feel like United, they're coming with some kind of force this season. I feel like they're not going to sit back and sort of have last season what happened.
It can't happen again, that's for sure. He's not going to last if it happens again. We talked about the win percentage rate comparison with Graham Potter. We just talked about when Potter's going to be flogged. So you can't avoid that with Amorim. He's under the spotlight. New signings quickly from my perspective anyway. I thought Cunha was our best player. he was running with the ball. We finally had a good ball carrier who could evade challenges and actually just pull us up the pitch. Like last season, we didn't have that. The closest thing we had is Garnacho, and look where he is now. He's posting on Instagram and doing all kinds of bullshit. So we've actually got a player who's actually dragging the ball up the pitch. And Mbeumo, I thought, was bright in the first half. He got tired though. Clearly, you could tell in the second half he wasn't attacking the space in the same way. And I do agree with Khem on the Ahmad and Mbeumo thing. Like they're gonna have to work it out, because he definitely looked better when Dalot was overlapping, and then when Ahmad came on the pitch, they kind of were running into the same spaces. So they've got to work out how they're gonna work together if Ahmad plays as the wing back. But I was encouraged by him. Sesko, he looked all right, man. He had some nice touches, but I feel like Arsenal's defense handled him relatively well. And at that point, when you bring on who else we were bringing on, Ugarte and some other players in midfield, he's not going to get the same service that he was getting from Casemiro. So it was slim pickings for him. On the Arsenal side, I don't think Gyökeres was as bad as everyone's making out. Sure, he was definitely doing a lot of wrestling, but he looked okay. He won a few duels. The thing that I would have been most disappointed with, as if I was an Arsenal fan, was when he did get that ball in the second half, and he finally had a chance to run at the defense and do exactly what Jonty was saying. Man stood on the ball and lost it. So, like, obviously that stinks, but it's probably just rustiness. You would hope anyway. But those are the kind of positions you want to see him in, not backing into defenders and doing his Højlund impression. You can see where that's got Højlund. The man's about to leave the league and go to Napoli. So, in terms of signing, I thought also Zubimendi, he had a rough one. I don't think he was atrocious, but he had a rough one. I think the expectations are high. He's obviously a really good player. And I think your midfield in general struggled a bit. And we put like 3 or 4 man on him, and we really stifled him pretty well with the press. But you could expect him to have better games going forward. But yeah, go on, Reza.
Live and direct from the jet black hair propaganda office. Mikel did say that Zubimendi was struggling with an illness, but insisted on playing. I'm not gonna lie, though.
Looked ill.
I was a little bit like, yo, I know the Prem's fast, bro, but but yeah, hearing that he was ill made me feel a lot better, because
it was kind of a gentleman, man.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I had a whole speech loaded up about him, and Arteta like loving his Spanish guys and not using his brain. But
I mean, we'll see more, right? Like, just on Zubimendi, we saw him when he played for Sociedad, right? Not Liverpool, Khem, last season. And we tucked him away in those 2 games, though. I'll be real, Nash, right? You can vouch for this, right? Zubimendi didn't have a chance in those Sociedad games, and we ran him. But obviously, they're a much worse team, and he's a good player, so you'd expect him to get used to the pace of everything. But yeah, I think he was ill for your sake.
Yeah, but I think the other thing is, right, like between Rice and Partey, it was very clear whose role was what, right? And I feel like this is going to be a challenge between the two of Rice and Zubimendi, is that they're actually a lot more similar in terms of the way that they play than Rice and Partey were. Like, I feel like Zubimendi, not he's been misprofiled, but people think that he's going to come into the Arsenal team and just sit there like Caicedo and just make challenges all day. But he's actually a good carrier of the ball. He's a good passer of the ball. You saw from the game against Athletic Bilbao that he can cross the ball. He can whip one in as well. And I think this is going to be the challenge between him and Rice. Is like they actually might end up being a bit too similar of a player, and one of them is going to have to make, I don't know if it's a sacrifice necessarily, but they're going to have to like separate themselves a bit more in terms of what jobs they do for us. Because one of the big challenges I saw in that Man United game is like the press almost seemed a bit disjointed, right? Like you'd get the ball in your half quite deep. Half of us would press. It would be sometimes Rice, sometimes Odegaard, sometimes Zubimendi, but then they'd leave some gigantic gap behind them. And because our defenders generally don't go super high line, like Ange ball type stuff, there ended up being this gigantic space, which is perfect for Cunha or Mbeumo to sit in. Because they don't really, for the most part, I don't really think they want to be on the final line. That's what Sesko is going to be doing. Them lot want to be in that kind of half space where they drop a little deeper, get the ball, and that's when they start getting into dangerous positions. Because the place that I don't want Mbeumo or Cunha to be coming up against Gabriel or Saliba is with the ball on the floor and with space in front of them, because both of them are techie ballers. And let's be honest, Saliba and Gabriel are still defenders. They're still relatively like big lumpish type of defenders as well, right? They're not like Lisandro Martinez type tiny little men that are gonna be really quick with the ball and nab it off you type of stuff. So I felt like that was weird, and I don't know if our press really worked all that well, and I don't think we had a great cohesion among them. And I think it was partly due to Rhys and Zubamendi's kind of performance in the middle of the field, because it didn't really seem if they, kind of like with a centre-back partnership, one of you goes, one of you drops, like kind of that symbiotic relationship between the two of them. It didn't really feel like they had that. So I'm hoping we see better. Maybe the Leeds game is not a great example of that, but like when we come up against City or whoever it is going to be, I hope that we figured out who's going to do what in those games.
Yeah, I think he's personally, Zubi's got to sit. Like, I get it. He is good carrying the ball, but if you're going to choose between Rhys or Zubi, Rhys has got more P&P. Like, he's going to be able to drive the ball up and down, and I feel like let Zubi keep the ball ticking over. We've seen it for Spain. He's really good in that position as well, deeper, keeping the ball moving, and then he's got that extra factor where he can drive with it if he needs to, which is great, to be honest. For a deep line playmaker to have that ability as well, that's ideal, right? And then you're in a really good position. But I get it. You got to work it out, right? It's still first game of the season. They're not going to have worked out who goes when and that kind of stuff. It's still.
I want to say one last thing though. I know that you lot have been dissing Ugarte, but I want to say thank you to him, because it's apparently him who gave Havertz a bit of a little push. That got him a couple of weeks. I'm hoping Havertz ain't going to be out long, but got a little push. He's going down for a couple of weeks, and now Mr. Levy, where you at, bro?
I can't lie.
Let's transition to that point
out.
then. The elephant in the room. I don't know why you're crashing out, bro. Chill out. You've still spent 300 million, and
because they're going to win. That's it. The league is theirs now, man. The league is theirs.
No. Don't start your agenda. Let's get them to enjoy Eze first before you start deflecting, innit? What
That's the one.
All right, Eze's coming in. Eze's coming in. You've sniped him from under Spurs' nose. I've seen all the Sol Campbell 2.0 stuff, which is hilarious, but at the same time, man's never actually played for Tottenham, so I don't know what you guys are doing. Yeah, we got the Niger top on. So you've got him from Palace. We've talked about it loads in the group chat. I think we've discussed it on previous eps. A big signing you guys were asking for. The question I've got is, where does he play? Does he play left wing? Does he replace Odegaard, or are you guys just so gassed you don't care?
Mine's looking for a house in Dubai right now. He's gone next season.
You're chatting waffle. Arteta said that this man's been, by far and away, he got voted the captain. We're not sticking our captain on the bench, bro. Eze's playing left wing. Madueke's going back to the gulag. We might sell him to Tottenham, hopefully. You never know what's going to go on. Get an extra 15 million on top, and we'll let you have him. But he's playing left wing, bro. The fake Brazilian that I love. He's got some competition.
Can we,
all right,
can we
Razor,
take a
do you
step
agree,
back
bro?
for a second? Can we take a step back for a second? I don't think Kai Havertz's injury has that much to do with us signing Eze. Eze is not a striker. If our second striker, if our backup striker got injured, why have we bought a Khem / left wing? I think they were just waiting to do this business, and they looked at Spurs, and like if you're trying to deal, it was like you're trying to move to a girl, and your only competition is a guy that you're not rating like that. You just leave it for a while, innit? That's what man was saying. He was like, I'm not, you know what I mean? It's like, I'll be back. She won't answer when I call. Don't worry, little bro. That's what it was, innit? I genuinely don't think the Havertz injury is going to be that long term. And I don't think it had that much to do. I think Tottenham were just sniffing. And that's when they were like, okay, time to spoil the party. So that's one. Two, I think similar to that, I think profile-wise, I don't know if we're going to get Eze playing left wing. We've discussed on this pod before, Arteta has a bit of a fetish for players that could be deployed in multiple positions. I think we're going to see Eze on the left wing. I think we're going to see him in midfield as well. We got a lot of games to play this season. Do you know what I mean? The one thing I do agree with Jonty on is Odegaard's not getting benched by anybody. He is Arteta's favourite player. He would play 11 Odegaards if he could, which terrifies me as I think about it.
Yeah, it's a scary thought.
But yeah, very happy to have him there. Very happy to have spun the Spurs block on them. You know, everyone was they were tweeting about like, you know, accepting, some Spurs fans were getting out of their pram and tweeting about like, you know, accepting the pecking order, talking to Newcastle and Brentford and the likes of them. This is the pecking order. This is the food chain. Know your place. Understand. Waste, man. Genuinely love it.
Oh my god! I feel I was gonna say I feel bad for them, but you know the
No, you
whole
don't.
Europa stuff. I don't feel bad for them. Fuck them.
No, you don't.
But yeah, okay. Eze, where have you got this money from then? Because you haven't sold anyone. Like we always
Thank
ask
you.
the
Wait,
United
Hold on.
question.
Fire the dinner
You
lady
lot keep
is
dissing us
asking
about
where the
second
money
place.
Bruv.
Do you know how much
relax,
money you get for finishing second, bro?
Relax. What I'm saying is because the rhetoric out there was after the Gyökeres signing, you got to sell players before you start buying. So you like 68 million is not a light little amount of money. So what you thinking that they're front loading it before they flog someone? Are you expecting someone to be sold off the back of this, or is this just this season's budget? Because it's quite a lot of money, bro. I'm not going into the Khem agenda on more money than Guardiola thing. I'm just saying it's. I thought that there was going to have to be some outs before ins, right? Or do you think that that's going to come afterwards? Because Trossard's staying, right? He signed a new deal. Well, like, who's going to?
Yeah, but I think you've got to look at two things, right? We've got a couple of big wages off our books, just in people going, right? So that's one thing. So because what you also got to look at, and what the Crimea River Brigade of Aston Villa and Newcastle never want to take into account is the fact that it's also about your wage bill too, right? You can't be spending 92% of how much money you make and then be crying that you can't spend money on transfers, right? Generally speaking, our wage bill outside of Kai Havertz, I know Io's in the chat somewhere, you know, with his fist clenched talking about this, but outside of Kai Havertz, we're not giving crazy wages to anyone really, right? So from that point of view, we've got a couple of big wages off the books now, which is good. We also, I think we're going to have to sell some people, but bear in mind, like we've got, I think Kiwior, there's some interest from, I was seeing some crazy numbers because I never thought Kiwior was worth anything like that, but I'm seeing some crazy numbers about potentially Kiwior leaving. I'm seeing other things around like some of the other players, Nelson or these other lot. Right? I think we're going to have to shift somebody, but generally speaking, when you buy first, you don't have to sell to buy, right? This whole idea of, oh, you know, we're buying first and then we're going to have to go and sell someone afterwards. No board is ever going to say okay to that. If you're in a sticky position, they're going to say, no, you literally cannot pay this money, because if you don't guarantee a sale afterwards, we're going to be in some sticky position. So I don't think we're in some sticky position where we have to sell now. Otherwise, we're going to be in trouble with UEFA or the Premier League afterwards. But I do think that this is going to be, you know, until we start selling people or winning something that's going to get us a lot of money, this is going to be probably our last big window, right? So we need to go and win something now. And I think this is maybe the reason in that I think a lot of Arsenal fans in previous windows have not been super happy because we haven't gone and got everybody we thought we wanted. I think the idea was that people were, you know, within the organization were trying not to put too much pressure to say, okay, we're going to spend all of our money right now, and if we don't win something, we're effed. But I'm getting the feeling that this summer might end up being that summer for us, where we're saying, you know what, we're going all in on this summer. I think you'll see there's a difference in the profile of player we're buying as well, because we weren't dropping like money on 27-year-olds like we have this season. So I feel like there is maybe a coming together within the boardroom, Josh Kroenke and all these lot saying, you know what, we've got to do something now. We have to do something, and we're going to take risks on players who we're probably going to have zero resale value for after their first contract. So we're just going to have to go all in now. So I don't think we've got like major financial problems, but I don't think we can keep doing this. I know that people want to bring up net spend all the time, and I say it doesn't really matter that much. But at the same time, like our record signing is still Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. So we have some issues, and we do need to start shifting some people soon.
I agree with Chang. Not it doesn't pain me as much to agree with Jonty as it does to agree with Khem. So I can say that like a little bit like more freely. But yeah, I do think though, when we were talking about like signings and transfers a couple of weeks back or whenever it was, one of the things that I was talking about is the fact that like one of the reasons that I think Arsenal doesn't sell particularly well is because we don't always have that much leverage in terms of when we're selling players. I think we're gonna get those outgoings. I don't know. Like, I think Kirill is like a slightly different situation because he's probably not someone that's been earmarked to like get off the books in terms of Deadwood. He is a backup. But like players that we've been trying to get rid of, like Fulham know what they want in terms of Rhys Nelson. Do you know what I mean? They're trying to pay as little for him as possible. They think if they wait for us to buy more players, they're going to get him for another season on loan. That's good for their numbers. Do you know what I'm saying? I think it's just a string of deals like that. And that is kind of part of the Arsenal selling DNA in the situation where we don't always sell players at the height of their value, if you like. So it is constantly a thing where a board might be like, all right, we're just going to wait like 3 weeks, wait 4 weeks, offer you something like just before the window slams shut when we know you're trying to get some money off your books. And I think that's why they're probably not too worried about making the purchases. But like also, I think it's like what we said about like United a little bit in terms of, United are broke, United psych. Like you can only be so broke when you're one of the most profitable football clubs in the world. Like they've got headroom. I think it's less about like having money to spend and more about like how much headroom you've got on FFP and PSR. And I know we're getting tight on one of them, which is like basically what Jonty was saying. Like we're in a tight position in terms of needing to win. But yeah, I feel like the money's been there. I think now we're just being a little bit more pragmatic in the transfer window, doing things that I don't think Edu would have done. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes playing the pauper is part of that.
Yeah. I mean, we, like you guys got almost instantly outraged. We're doing the same thing. It's just, Arsenal, maybe it is a turning of a tide, man, with your transfers. Like Berta's come in and things are changing. Spending 52 million on someone who might end up actually being a backup. I was very skeptical at the beginning, but, Razor was adamant that it was going to happen, and you probably going to end up being proven right. But that's a change of tact, right? I get why.
Wait till we get the left wing.
Bro, this is Berta. He
No.
got 100 plus on João Felix. He's not afraid to splash. He likes it.
Man brings out his worst ever signing.
That's how he rolls. Have you seen what he was doing there? Bruv, who was it? What was it? Lamar. This is what he does at Atletico, bruv. He doesn't mind spending 50 M's plus on backups. He don't mind.
Yeah. He is a big spender, right? He is. He's a go on, Khem.
You just got to make sure that you're staying and competing at the top, because the money's too good when you keep having good seasons and staying in this new Champions League format. So Arsenal did the right thing anyway. Like, you'll make it back, let's be real. So even if you get a little bit tight, isn't PSR over like a 6-year period anyway? And then Jonty's point about wages is the big one as well. You guys don't really do stupidness with wages, apart from Havertz. That one shocked me the other day. I didn't know that until recently. But the Eze transfer has really tipped the scales in their favour, man. So we'll see how it goes.
You're such a pussy. How can you back out now when you've signed all the players you've signed? You've got Isak loading and Eze's just got you shivering in your boots, mate. Come on.
2 weeks ago I was at work last week. So 2 weeks ago, we still haven't signed Isak or even Mark Gahey, and they've brought in Eze, who they really wanted, man. I think that's a really good coup from you guys. And also, Spurs should be ashamed of themselves. I don't want to hear from them. Expressions might have to just go on holiday for a bit, and everyone else. I haven't heard from any Spurs fans, friends either. They've gone into hiding. You guys have done them dirty.
I mean, that's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt, hasn't it? Like if one of your biggest rival comes in, nicks someone that, let's be real, they desperately need. Madison's out for the season, looks like.
Yeah.
Kulusevski's out for a big chunk. They needed an Eze desperately, and the fact that Arsenal obviously do need, to have more strength in depth and everything like that. But you've already got a good set of players in there. You're not in Spurs' situation, desperado, that you needed someone like that. Although it will help. Obviously, he's a class player. It's got a sting like no one's business. And then also don't forget they've lost Gibbs White to the Marinakis situation.
And Diblin's going Everton now as well, because he was on their list. They're going to end up with El Canous or whatever his name is. Good luck.
Yeah, Rhys, honestly, don't chat about 50 million again. I'm seeing Diblin go for 42. I'm seeing all these other guys going for.
That's what I said, man.
Dibbling might be better.
Do you know the difference? Do you know the difference?
There is no difference. Dibbling scored 2 goals, bro.
At least other people.
Bro, have you ignored all the ITKs? Bayern just came in for Garnacho last week, and he wants Chelsea. I've sent the pictures in the group chat. He's a lifelong Chelsea fan, really. So just accept him the same way that Arsenal lads are accepting Eze. And you know, come on, man. What are you doing? Be welcoming.
He's coming. I can't
Let's
wait for
not be
deadline day
disrespectful.
when he comes on a Sancho loan deal.
No. There's no loans happening.
When
He's
he
going to
comes on
rot
that
in the
Sancho loan
reserves.
deal, we'll be here for a pod. We'll be here.
No. We will. And one of us is going to have to hold it. Pause. All right, let's go on to the United might be getting a goalie, guys. Before we get into the preview, we have to chat about that real quick. Honestly, when I saw that news drop, I was so happy. And I know, we'll get into everyone's opinions about it. There was chat about Donnarumma before. There was chat about Martinez. I'm happy with the Courtois regen. And until he starts dropping clangers, that's what I'm going to keep calling him after we sign him. So, yeah, apparently we're going to get this goalie from Royal Antwerp. His name's Lammens. All seriousness, the only reason I'm calling him a Courtois regen is because he kind of looks a bit like Courtois in the face and the frame and everything like that. But apparently he looks semi-decent. He's not as young as I thought. He's actually 23. So there's no reason why he can't get into the first team relatively quickly. I'm going to go to you, Nash, first, being the other United fan on here. What do you make of it? And are you happy we're going to get a new keeper, potentially?
While it's another potential buy, I just need more competition in that room, man. Onana's been walking around like he owns the place for too long. And buying there, bruv, he knows he's an imposter. So I just need someone there to push him because this can't keep going on. That Arsenal game, bruv, it radicalized me. Enough is enough. I just can't do it anymore.
Oh, the idea of you being radicalized, bro, sends shivers down my spine, bro. Honestly, but no, I hear you. Because all right, let's open it up to everyone else. Do you think this means that Bayindir is going or Onana might be going?
Bayindir is going for sure, man. You're not shifting. Who wants to buy him? First of all, for Onana. Second of all, you spent way too much money on him to just let him go for free. So you best believe Bayindir is going to be sent somewhere. I don't know if you lot still have feeder clubs like Rhys and Strasbourg and that, but you need to find someone and send him there expeditiously and then put Onana on the bench. Let him and Mbeumo just chill out, relax a little bit, because I don't think you're going to be able to shift Onana. There's no way that you spend that much money on a keeper and then just let him go for nothing. Like Man United are bad at doing business, but not that bad.
100%. Plus, Bayindir is Turkish, isn't it? So there'll always be a Turkish league revival opportunity for him, whatever stage of his career is at. And I think it's going to be he's going to be a lot easier to send to Siberia as it was.
But are you guys not worried that you're taking another risk on a goalkeeper? Like you took somewhat of a risk. No, they are all a risk, right? But we've talked about this before. You need a keeper that is an actual keeper, not someone playing rush goalie, not an outfielder in goal. Like you need a proper, legit keeper. When Emi Martinez is supposedly available, why are you going after this brother who, let's be honest, no one has ever heard of before?
Probably because he's on a decline that's been masked by his PR, man. He's almost finished. We can't be doing that.
Bro, goalkeepers go on until they're 45. I reckon you're going to end up, the same way that Amarim was saying that his goalkeeping coach is going to start at striker. Your goalkeeping coach is going to start at goalkeeper if you keep buying these dons. Go and buy someone that's legit.
Nah, I don't know. I will bring in Rhys and Khem because you guys haven't really shared your thoughts on it. But I think if they were going to flog Onana, you might see them go for a proper established, potentially more expensive keeper like a Martinez or someone like that. But because it's clear that he's probably not agitating to leave, and he's had offers, right? I heard that Saudi clubs were in for him and he didn't want to go. So I think that's the reason why they're going for the approach, and that's the reason why I agree with you lot who think Bayindir is the one who's going to be shifted, because it's a goalie who's younger, can come in, might be potentially okay riding the bench for a little bit at the beginning. And then as soon as that Onana clanger comes, and it will come, they're gonna bring him off the bench and give him a go. And I think, obviously, I've got no clue how he is as a player. I haven't watched any of his games fully. What people are saying about him is that he is a bit more of a traditional keeper, in that he's more about his shot stopping, come in to claim crosses, etc. And he's not really going to be in that woke business of playing Edison, assist passes to Sesko. It is more of a traditional keeper that we're trying to get in. Obviously, no one's really heard of him, so there's going to be doubters. But in my mind, it's going to be a risk regardless. If we can't get rid of Onana, I'm happier that we get someone in like this before we go and get like a Donnarumma or something like that, even if that was possible. But it looks like he's going City, so I'm okay with this, and we'll just see how it goes. I think it's going to be, unless he turns out to really be like a Courtois regen, we're probably going to be bouncing around this season for goalie and just bouncing between clangers, between whoever's in sticks. So you might as well chuck a young keeper in there and see how it works out.
Yeah, I reckon with United as well, this is probably more of a long-term phasing out of Onana and sort of trying to move him on later on. And also you have to think, if you get another top keeper, it's going to disrupt the wage structure already. And United have been guilty of picking up players, paying high wages and them not performing. So I guess this is a good sort of way to bring someone in without less pressure of being the keeper at Man United. And then, yeah, like you said, Ant, waiting for another Onana clanger. And then maybe phasing him in like that and phasing Onana out to go maybe 1 or 2 years from now, because we know he's not going to be the United keeper in the coming seasons.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. And the Lamans move, all right, look, if this was an 18-year-old keeper, I'd not be happy. The fact he's 23 and he's played like 3 or 4 seasons as first choice keeper, all right, he's still inexperienced compared to other keepers, but if he does have to get thrown into it, I'll feel a bit more comfortable than if it was a youth keeper or something like that was going to be brought in. But let's see, man. But I think we're all in agreement. Onana's going to drop clangers. This guy's going to eventually get his chance, and then the proof will be in the pudding. All right, let's go on to our previews then. Oh, go on, Khem. Throw your digs in quickly before we do the preview.
I think you might loan Onana. I wouldn't be surprised if you just loan him to someone just to get him out, because surely that might cause a bit of disruption. The media love to get involved. Is there a goalkeeper drama going on? Who starts, who doesn't? Like, I think Onana's terrible. You're going to phase him out. So why wait on it? Might as well start the process early. Why
don't you just hide him in the deal with Garnacho, send him to Chelsea? I heard Chelsea are looking for a keeper as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I would love to do that, man. But I think literally that might be the line. I don't think Chelsea
instantly reappeared.
Because Onana's going to want to play. He's going to want to play regularly. He's going to want to play regularly ahead of AFCON and ahead of the World Cup, everything. And Lamins, he might be he might want to try and get back in. You never know. But if Lamins is a Courtois regen, then you hope he's not completely a Courtois regen where he does extra stuff and disrupts the dressing room as well, maybe.
Yeah, start fraternizing with his teammates' wives. All right, well, let's move on to the next section before we get in trouble. All right, game week 2 previews. We've already everyone chucked in their previews yesterday before the Chelsea game. We all got correct results, but not correct score lines. So nothing really changes massively. Obviously, the City Tottenham game's going on as we speak. So I'm going to go around. Everyone quickly give their predictions before we get into the Arsenal, United, and Liverpool games. So City Tottenham. I'll start with Rhys because you're top left on my view. What's your prediction, bro?
I went 2-1 City. Yeah, I think City will carry on sort of the form that they showed last week. But I think Spurs showed a bit of defensive nous and some fight against PSG, and I think they'll carry that into this game, like Thomas Frank's side as well. So yeah, I'll go 2-1.
Right, that makes sense. Jonty, what's your prediction, bro?
I'm just trying to pull it up. Wait 1 second. I think I had City to win 2-1 because I think it's going to be it's never an easy game between them, right? And I think that Thomas Frank just makes it even less easy because Thomas Frank really sets his team up to play against whoever the opposition is. So I'm not saying that that's going to make that much of a difference because at the end of the day, Tottenham's players are Tottenham's players. He's only got a certain level of player to choose from anyway. But I feel like that could make it potentially a bit more difficult for Pep's team. I still think that like City obviously have the quality to win though, and a couple of people have been saying, "Oh yeah, let's settle down on the Reinders train and all this, that, and the other after like the last couple of performances." But genuinely, I know I'm probably going early, but Reinders looks like he's going to be like a bit of a game changer for that team. Like I feel like Phil Foden's career is pretty much done there. He ain't getting a game. My man needs to go on loan to Everton or something. But yeah, no, I feel like they're going to mash them up, or not mash them up, but they'll end up getting at least a couple goals. And yeah, I think 2-1's probably like the safe bet for me. I do think there's like a possibility though that City just blam them and it ends up being like 4-1 or something. But I'm going to keep it safe because it's early in the season. I don't want to go too far behind Io and Rhys at the top. So I'm going to go for 2-1 City.
Yeah, fair enough. Razor, what's your prediction, bro?
I said 4-2. I think that it could be a very like stodgy game, like very tight and like sort of sounding each other out. And then when the first goals go in and both teams start pressing to kind of like get goals, I think it could get a bit more open, especially in like the second half, depending on who Pep brings on. I'm also really bad at this, so it might be 1-0. Who knows?
Yeah, well, spoiler alert, Ray's at the bottom of the table at the moment, but we'll go through the prediction league in a minute. Khem, what's your prediction, bro?
I also went 2-1 City as well. Spurs just they're used to doing well against them, especially at Manchester City Stadium. But I think with just how things have gone recently, I don't think they'll get it over the line. And City will probably just be too strong for him anyway.
All right, so I'm seeing a theme develop now. A lot of 2-1s. Razor's got the 4-2. Nash, what are you saying, bro? What's your prediction for this one?
I'm going for 2-2, man. I like what I'm seeing from Thomas Frank, Amanda, who's okay adapting his team to whoever is playing, and I actually believe they'll do something. I'm going 2-2.
All right, first kind of different result then. I've gone 4-2 as well, so I'm the same as Razor. I think City are going to win, and I can't not see loads of goals in this. So yeah, it could be the kiss of death, and it's like a 0-0 or a 1-0. But yeah, Thomas Frank, he's either really really stingy with his defense, or you're like what was it, Bayern that mashed him up in pre-season. And I can't see City not scoring loads of goals in this game. But Kudus did look good, man, in that last game, and even Richarlison looked good as well. So you never know. I think City, their defense is ropey as well. So I definitely see loads of goals in that game. But yeah, we'll find out in the next hour or so, I guess. All right, let's go on to the Arsenal Leeds preview then. Yeah, is it later today or early tomorrow? I think it's later today, isn't it? You're going to be potentially seeing. It's too soon for Eze, right? Has he signed already?
I don't think he made the deadline because the deadline was like 12 p.m. on Friday, I swear. And I feel like I only saw his medical happening like middle of the day. So I don't think he's going to be ready for the game. But I still feel like we've got enough quality, surely, to beat Leeds. But that might be the kiss of death as well. Who knows?
Yeah, go on. Give me your prediction then, Johnson. What do you think the score will be in this one?
I went for 3-1. And I'm predicting Gyökeres hat-trick.
That's definitely because you've captained him in FPL.
Yes, right, it is. Cool. It is. Yeah.
3-1. Rhys, what's your prediction, bro?
I went 3-0 Arsenal. Yeah, I think this will be a much better performance than last week. I probably won't go for a Gyökeres hat-trick, but I do think he'll get in amongst the goals. And I think more chances will be created for him and provided. So I definitely think he'll get on the end of one of them. And yeah, I just obviously Leeds, I think they might have been a bit fortunate to come away with a win against Everton, and Arsenal would just be too much for them.
Yeah, I think this one should be a home banker, but I'm interested to see what the rest of you say. Razor, what's your prediction, bro?
3-0. Backing in 5 under the lights in front of the home fans. I think we're going to look a lot better than we did in that first shaky game at Old Trafford. And yeah, again, not 100% sure on the Gyökeres hat-trick element of it. Hopefully thinking, I think I might see him on the score sheet today. Might see Saka on the score sheet today. Declan Rice, maybe a corner goal. Who knows? But yeah, I don't think they're gonna. I think Everton gave Leeds a lot of space and a lot of respect, and they didn't give them the welcome to the Prem pamming. So I think they're getting that today.
Yeah, I was quite surprised by that game. I'm not gonna lie, because Everton, they've been making some big moves in the transfer window. Moyes obviously had a crazy new manager bounce with them back end of last season in the new stadium coming up. Like I just really thought that Everton were going to absolutely slap Leeds up, but yeah, it went the other way. So I think this will be more routine, kind of what we can expect from Leeds in a Premier League performance, I think, at the Emirates. But yeah, 3-0 as well. Okay. Khem, what's your prediction for this one, bro?
I went 2-0 Arsenal. And to follow on from what Ray said, I don't think it will maybe be a corner. I think definitely Gabriel will score from a corner because someone's fouling the keeper. And then the other goal, probably Rhys. And Gyökeres will probably get subbed after an hour.
Yeah, fair enough. That makes
But you'll
a
batter
lot
Leeds.
of...
It'll be comfortable win. Comfortable win.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think we're all going to go for the same kind of results on this one. Nash, what's your prediction for this one then?
I'll say the United game wasn't indicative of Arsenal's readiness for the league. I think they're going to do 3. No goals from Gyökeres, hooked 55th minute.
So did you give a scoreline?
3-0 Arsenal, no goals, hooked at 55th minute.
this Gyökeres agenda
is crazy.
I have to. I put him as flop of the season.
Oh, God. The precise. You as well.
Hammy won't last long.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like my prediction on this was 3-1 as well. I think Gyökeres is definitely going to get chances in this game. It still might be too early for him to bang hat tricks like Jonty's saying and whatever else. But yeah, I can't see Leeds offering too much threat. The only thing I will say is maybe there's a chance on transition or something like that that Leeds can nick a goal. But I can't say with any confidence on that because I haven't seen too much of them. And yeah, haven't they got Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front? Or I'm pretty sure they signed him. So I might be being a bit hopeful with that goal for Leeds. Before we can get into the next one, I'm just going to shout out a few people in the chat. We've obviously got Io, whose internet somehow allowed him to comment, but not jump on the stream. So shout out to you, my bro. We've got Jamar as well, all the way from Australia. Big him up in the chat. I see he's talking about Australian football. I don't think any of us know too much about Aussie rules football, if that's what you're mentioning. If you're talking about the actual league, Melbourne Victory. So I've gone for the Ops of Melbourne City, who I believe are the City Group team. So fuck that team. We're going to go for the Victory. But yeah, shout out everyone in the chat. Yeah, love for all the comments and all the engagement. All right, we'll go on to the next game then. It's Fulham Man United. It's tomorrow. I think it's a late kickoff again. Got a very good record at Craven Cottage and against Fulham in general. So we'll start off with you this time, Nash. Bottom corner. What's your prediction in this one?
I'm going 3-1 United. Cunha, Boomer, and you know what? Šeško's going to get one, but we're going to ship one because our keepers are terrorists. So yeah, I'm going 3-1.
Fair dues. Do you think Onana's going to come back in sticks? That's the other question I'll ask you.
I actually think he will. And then when he ships one, I'm going to blame Amarim because like, bro, you've been whoring him out in the press, slandering him. So when he makes a mistake, it's all on you.
Yeah, man's agendas are unreal. All right, cool. Khem, what's your prediction on this one?
I'm going 1-1.
All right, man's not going to offer any analysis. Just 1-1.
I'm going 1-1 because it's still Fulham. It's still Marco Silva. You know, Jimenez, Iwobi, Wilson, they're all there. Like, Arsenal weren't really trying because you guys aren't worth trying for, so they didn't get out for the game. But Fulham will at home, and you'll get a goal. It won't be from Tesco, but you'll get one. And yeah, draw. You're both the same. You're both the same teams, mid-table teams, you know. So Similar,
all right, get it all out, but don't forget we've got Newcastle, Liverpool coming, so don't go anywhere. We're going to come for you, my guy. All right, Razor, what's your prediction on this one? Razor, what's your prediction for this Fulham Man United? Man's on mute.
Damn it. It happened again. I think my prediction was 3-2 to United. Hopefully Tesco starts this one. I can see him getting a goal. I don't think he's got like fitness to do a full 90 in the Premier. But yeah, I think we might be seeing a little bit more of Money Mace in that false nine. Whether that's to start off the game or to close out the game, I don't know what. Nobody knows what Amarim's going to do. But yeah, I think Fulham are decent. And I think they'll have settled into their rhythm a bit as well. And like, it's basically a side that's essentially got the same core that they had last season versus a side that's going through pretty big transitions. And I think that's where the goals like might have come through, and it becomes a bit of a tight game, a bit twitchy.
All right, so man's predicting a goal fest, 5 goals. All right, Jonts, what's your prediction in this one?
I've gone Man United 2-1, and I think it's going to be Carlos Baleba to score both of the goals for Man United, signing of the season. But I mean, in all seriousness, I think Man United have still got the quality, and let's not forget. I think it was the first game of last season, like the first game of the opener of last season, right? That you played them and you won with like a Xerxes goal. Just because we think Fulham are good, I do think they're good, but I've actually seen them live with Antony lose to Man United before. And in my opinion, Fulham were the better team that day as well until they got the sending-offs. I think they got 3 sending-offs at the same time, essentially. So I think they're a good team, but I just don't think they're going to have enough quality to beat United, unfortunately. And I think this will be not maybe as good a performance for United. I think, in true United fashion, they'll go from good performance, no result against Arsenal, to crap performance, result against Fulham. They just basically swap. They do the exact opposite of what people expect every single time. So I feel like that's what's going to happen. But who do I think is going to score? I think Cunha and Mbeumo, one of the two of them is definitely going to score. But I think it will be a close game. And full respect to Fulham, full respect to Marco Silva. Like he is a good coach, and they've got a pretty settled team. But I just don't think, they're one of them teams that they have to keep adding quality, because they're always on that precipice of, if they don't add quality this season, if they lose a couple of their big players, they could be down there kind of scrapping at the bottom. So I don't know if they've done enough to really improve on like where they were last season, which I think was a pretty good season for them. So yeah, I don't think they're going to have enough.
Yeah, fair enough. I think going by how we've played last couple of seasons, that's a pretty fair prediction. Rhys, what's your prediction for this game?
I went 2-1 Man United. For some reason, I see it being quite a cagey affair, and United nicking it last minute. I think they just have that lucky streak in them. But Fulham will make it tough for them when they go to Craven Cottage. But I just see the partnership of Cunha and Mbeumo coming together a bit more. I see Cunha bagging himself a goal, maybe a bit too early for Sesko. So Mount might be in that false 9 role, supporting the midfield, which I think will help the midfield for this game as well. But I see it being like quite tight. Obviously, United will concede. I do see it, but I think a last minute kind of late on goal for United will come. And I do think Fulham are the type to sort of play well for the first 60, 70 minutes and drop off. So I do think they are guilty of that. I have seen obviously we've done that before against them as well. So I just kind of see it going that way. United nicking it late on.
All right, so 2-1, 3-1 we've got, and 1-1. So I'm going to go United to win 3-1. I'm not saying it with a huge amount of confidence, because what you guys have all said I think is pretty fair. If we went by what we've been the last couple of seasons, we come off the back of a better performance and then stink up the next game. So it's going to be. But the way I see it is, this is what you've got to judge Amarim on at this stage, even more so than anything else is these games against the mid-table block of teams. We can't S-house wins. We've bought these players from a lot of these teams that I'm mentioning, like your Cunhas and Mbuemos, and they kind of their meat and potatoes last season and the last couple of seasons has been turning up against the other teams in and around them and performing and scoring goals. So I expect a lot from Cunha and Mbuemo in particular in this type of game. I agree. I think it's too early for Sesko. He may start, but he won't play the whole game, or he's coming off the bench with Mason Mount in false nine. But I'm hoping for a much better performance than we've seen last season and the season before against these type of teams. And I would expect something similar to last week. But if not, at least more possession, because that was something that did surprise me against you lot. I was predicting a low block, kind of mid block, let you guys have more of the ball, and we had 60% odd possession of the ball, and kept it more than we usually do against the top teams. So I'm expecting us to dominate the ball again, and I really want those front players to make a difference. So I'm going 3-1. All right, then this is your time to shine, or the spotlight to get on you, Khem. Newcastle, Liverpool, the Isak Derby. Mate, I think it's going to be, they've set it up to be a proper tasty affair. Monday night, 8 p.m. The bin dippers are going to be
Monday
up
Night
in the
Raw.
gods. Yeah, Monday Night Raw. You're going to be up in the gods. Newcastle always put the away fans right up in the nosebleeds. I think, honestly, if I was a Liverpool fan, and I'm almost puking in my mouth thinking about it, but I'd have my helmet on, my bulletproof vest going to that stadium, because they're going to
Kevlar.
be, honestly,
Yep,
bro, they're
absolutely.
going to be
Life jacket,
sniffing blood.
everything.
Yeah. Give me your
Yep,
prediction first.
that's why I put a WWE shirt on.
Matt's ready for
1-1.
What do you think?
I was struggling with this one because I felt like they've not really improved their team, and obviously we're quite an attacking unit, and they're obviously going to want to push up. First game of the season at St James's Park, they're going to obviously leave gaps open for us, and I think we're a team that will score a lot, but at the moment we might concede a lot. But then I saw the referee was Simon Hooper. And he was a referee when we lost against Spurs, when we had the VAR issue, when Diaz was clearly onside and they announced it and that wasn't given. He sent off Curtis Jones when he made a clean tackle. So in a situation like this, with the whole Isak stuff aside as well, you want a referee who can handle the atmosphere. He also booked Slot last season when we beat Chelsea at home. So it's not looking good. I just hope McAllister makes it out of there. Gravenberch makes it out of there. I don't even know if Wirtz. I didn't captain him this week because he's not even strong enough already to play in the Prem. Clearly, physically, at the moment, he needs to get up to speed with it. But the violence that's going to come from Bruno and Joe Linton, it's like when you get rushed by Solo Sokoa and all them guys with the bloodline. Like it's just not worth it. So Salah will get his goal. They'll get a scrappy goal. And then we'll just have to live to fight another day. I'm not gonna lie. The referee, when I saw it was Simon Hooper, I just was like, we're not winning the game. So I'll just take a point and we'll just keep it moving. Take their striker, hopefully, and then we'll see him again soon, and then we can batter them properly. But no.
All right, don't go anywhere before I get to everyone else. You don't try and sneak it in right there at the end there. You get an Isak or not? I've seen "Hey Isak" all over the timeline. Everyone's chatting about, Isak desperate to come. All of these Liverpool fans, forgot about Trent, and now they're suddenly like pushing for him to just sit on the bench for a whole season. Come on, give it to us. Are we going to get them or not?
Whenever Eddie Howe speaks, he reveals the truth a bit more. Every time he speaks, it seems like it's just. I feel sorry for him being in front of the camera. It's sad for him. But he always sort of suggests, he said recently, within the next week, this is going to get sorted out one way or another. And obviously, they're mad at us for not giving the fee that they supposedly wanted. But they're doing the exact same thing to Brentford over Wissa. So they need to shut up. These Newcastle fans need to stop crying wolf, bro. Just pay the money for Wissa. Go get Nicholas Jackson. There's plenty of bum strikers out there. They're already practicing with Gordon up front. they're saying already, because they're revealing it in pre-season, we're testing out Antony Gordon as a striker. So you're revealing that you're obviously preparing for life, a striker down. He's made it. I don't think I've ever seen that, apart from Gallas saying he was going to score own goals years ago when he wanted to leave. Thing, yeah. Do you remember that? Like, a lot of players are lucky that social media went around, because some crazy stuff. Everyone's acting like Isak's the first guy to do this. He's not. He's just the first high-profile situation that we've had where everything's scrutinized every day. Every word you say is scrutinized. I think we're gonna have to get him, because we haven't looked at any other options. Obviously, Ekitike was one of our options. They always plan to sell Nunes, so it's either Isak or nothing. So I don't think they wait this long if they're not going to go back for it. And obviously, it's gone a little bit quiet recently, which has actually been kind of nice, because I'm kind of sick of hearing about it and seeing fake Newcastle in the nose trying to say they know everything, and then Eddie Howe reveals the truth that it's just not looking good. But Isak's statement on his Instagram story on the night of the PFA Awards is insane. Like, that was absolutely crazy. When they asked Salah, is it a good team at the same awards, or is it better than last season's team, he straight up said no, with both the laptop nerds in attendance. So I don't think they're done. I think they'll get him over the line. We'll probably have us, like, our future fixtures, like away allocation of tickets probably gets reduced. If it's 2,000, they'll probably give us 1,500 moving forward. Let them be better, but we'll take their Swedish don, and then we'll get the point, but we'll get the strikers. So that's what I'm hoping for. Otherwise, my FPL will have to change very soon.
Honestly, a pot calling kettle black is unreal. The way you've just launched all that stuff about Vissa and everything you went through with Trent. You're a disgrace, mate. But I'll open it up to everyone else.
The Trent situation is not the same. Isak's not running his contract down and leaving on a free. Everyone's got to stop comparing. It's not the same.
But he's worse, because he's not agreeing to train or play. At least Trent turned up and made himself available to play the whole time. Come on, man. We can all do.
He was
this.
afraid to talk to the media. He didn't do an interview. He was the vice captain. He didn't speak for the whole year.
What's Isak been doing? He's been hiding behind his 15 agents this whole time until he posted that IG story. So come on, man. You're such a fickle fan base, these Scousers, I tell you. All right, before I get us cancelled, because I'll go on a rant. Jonts, go on, mate. Give me your prediction for this, and give me your take on the Isak situation.
All right, I'm going to speak on the game very quickly. It's going to be, I think I went for 2-2, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 2-2. Both of them are going to let goals in. They're both defensively shaky. There's going to be at least 2 red cards. I wouldn't be surprised if they were both Newcastle players as well. And someone's getting injured. So that's all I can say about that, right? Ekitike, watch yourself. Because you rejected them as well. Don't forget about that. You rejected them, and now you're going to play against them. You're getting a double foot challenge at the very least. So that's number one. The other thing is, you're not getting Isak. You want to talk about what Eddie Howe's coming out and revealing every 5 seconds. Are you going to ignore the statement that Newcastle as a club literally came out and said he's not going anywhere? He can do what he wants. He can sit on a bench. He's a contracted player and he's not going anywhere. So you're not getting him. Be happy. You're talking about, we haven't got any other options. You literally bought your other option. You spent 90 million on your other option, and now you're telling me that you haven't got any other options. You've got a number one, 90 million pound player sat there that's apparently now supposed to become a left winger just because you want Isak from Newcastle. So you're not having him. They'll get Wissa, but they need to have 2 strikers at least before they go into the season. And I don't think they're getting Nicholas Jackson. I don't think they're stupid enough to do any of that. They're not going to go and get somebody else unless they get Samu or one of these other Dons. And I don't think any of the teams that they currently play for are going to be looking at the last 2 weeks of the window and say, yeah, we'll help out Liverpool and screw ourselves up with no striker. If you look at all of the teams that Newcastle are apparently going to go and get a striker from, outside of Chelsea, none of those teams have another option. So from my point of view, that's not happening. You need too many things to happen concurrently for you to go and get Isak. And you're not going to put down the money, frankly, that is required to get him. It's made very clear now you're going up in like 5 million increments as if this is like a Olympic weightlifting competition where you're putting a couple of kg on every single time and having a couple of goes at it. This ain't the time. Put the money on the table or move along. Right? And you're not going to do that because at the end of the day, you're tight as well and you've spent a lot of money yourself. So Move along. You've got Ekatike. Be happy. You've got Cody Gakpo. Let's not forget that you can play striker too. You've got all these dons. You've got what you need. Go and win the league. Don't have any excuses afterwards with saying, "Oh, we didn't get Isak, so we're not going to win the league." Because you won last season without Isak and without Wirtz and without all these other dons. So don't go anywhere and don't scared.
One of us is getting clipped, and I can't wait. One of us is getting clipped.
Big clippings are coming for sure. All right, Razor, what's your prediction on this game then? And you can chuck in your Isak chat as well if you want.
Newcastle 1, Liverpool 4. Mainly because I agree with Jonty that I expect a red card or two, but I do think those red cards will have a difference on what the actual game is. I think it will be like 1-0, 2-1, and then I expect to see red cards or potentially maybe like someone going off, and that changes the game. And I think Liverpool will win in that situation. They're also not going to have Jeremy Frimpong, so I think they're going to be a little bit more stable at the back. I'm expecting like, who is it? Is it Bradley Khem to play?
He's only just gone back to training, and Gomez has barely trained. I actually think we might. That's also why I went for a draw, because I think we might have to do something wild like Szoboszlai or Jones at right back. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
We had Party at right back plenty of last season, mate. You'll survive.
Wait. You're sorry. Wait. You're gonna play your 70 million midfielder at right back. Can I just correct?
He's either him or Jones. I think, I don't know, because Bradley's only just got back to training, and I think it depends on Joe Gomez, because he missed 3 days apparently. Like I think he's still really unfit. He's made of paper mache, so yeah, I think that's gonna be an interesting. I'm not gonna lie. I hope it's Gomez, but we don't have either right back at the moment.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna make note of this, and we'll see if Cunha or Mbeumo plays at left back or right back at some point during this season. We'll chat again. All right, go on, Razor.
If they win a league, then you can compare them.
Shut
up. Isak. I personally, I'm not sure. I think what Jonty just said about like if you're on it, put the money on the table. I think that's pretty like apt. And no one knows that better than being an Arsenal fan, I reckon. Mainly because I think, you did get a striker. He is playing well. Arguably, you do need another forward, but does it have to be the most expensive forward available for sale in the Premier League right now? Is that good business? Yada, yada, yada. We could talk about that all day. I don't know if Newcastle are sticking to their valuation. I don't know if Liverpool are going to go and meet it, because why wouldn't they have just slapped the 150 M's down already? Do you know what I mean? Newcastle are clearly not happy about the situations. They've got very little leverage. They probably think they have leverage, but an entire, the PIF is behind the club. So if they're like, all right, cool, we need to go and buy someone. We can't buy someone until this. You are not going to twist our arm, though. And they're going to use him to set an example and make a precedent out of. I don't see that end well for anyone involved. So, yeah, I think Liverpool got to match the valuation. They got to do it without any crinkum crankum. They can't do Klarna. They can't do clear pay. I think they just got to do. They got to do what Newcastle want, and everyone's comparing it to the Brentford situation with Wissa. I think the difference is that the way Isak has come out and spoken now, but also the way that Isak feels about the situation, the fact that he wants to go to Liverpool. I think things like that make it seem worse. Even if it's the exact same situation, it'll make people think of it in a different way. Wayne Rooney was in the media the other day talking about whether that's the kind of personality you want in your dressing room, this, that, and the other. Do you know what I mean? So I think as the time goes on and Liverpool don't slap the money on the table, every day that passes, it's looking less likely, Khem. You're going to have to change.
Isn't that the same Wayne that wanted to go to City before he got?
Yeah, and he didn't. The big point is he didn't end up going to City, just like Suarez didn't end up leaving after he was pushing for a leave, and Gerrard didn't leave after he was pushing for a leave. You got plenty of precedent of that happening before, and them still going on to play for their teams. So you best hope it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, Kane as well. Obviously, I know that one too. But there's many times when they do get their move as well. But the thing is, this would have been sorted out ages ago if Newcastle had some pulling power. But I think we do it because you little bro Spurs and we're going to little bro Newcastle, because these teams are being shown that the big, I'm not even going to include Spurs, the big five, all right, they're the ones, man. They're the cash cows. And that's the reason why everyone has money in the Prem.
All
We need
right.
to establish that from time to time.
All right, Rhys, what's your prediction on this one, bro?
I've gone for 2-2 in the custody of Isak match. I think,
That's hilarious.
yeah, no, it's going to be a fiery game, of course. I think Newcastle. I think there is an element of that being little Boyd, and I think they're going to try and show that they're not like that's not how they want to do things. I think it'll be tough for Liverpool after everything, the media speculation and everything. And don't get me wrong, everyone loves a good storyline. And this has been like one of the storylines of the summer, and it's just fitting that these two would play each other while this is still going on. So I think there's going to be a lot of hype surrounding it, but I think cagey affair with like 2-2, I personally am going to go for. Yeah, and in terms of the Isak deal and the situation, the problem Isak's got is he's still got 3 years on his contract, so he doesn't really have. You can throw your toys out the pram all you want. Newcastle have got a fee, and if Liverpool don't pay it, then he can sit and like be under contract for Newcastle for at least another season. They've still got that leverage over him, and it's a World Cup year. So do you really think he's going to want to sit in the reserves for the whole season? I see some reconciliation going, and you see the longer the window goes, the longer it goes on and the window closes, it's going to be less likely that these deals can happen. So I think it's getting less likely unless Liverpool want to come to the table with a realistic fee that Newcastle want to accept, because all the power, it may not look like it, but it's in Newcastle's hands. He's got 3 years on his deal. What's he going to do? Run down his contract? They could easily sell him next year. So yeah, I would kind of take that stance on the Isak deal. And then you could probably say there is ways to go about things, because I'm sure Eze wasn't pushing for a move to get out of Crystal Palace. I think he tried to play every game he could and then got his move and sort of left with no fuss. So there is a kind of way to do things, but yeah, you can sort of make all the statements you want, but the reality is you're under contract, mate.
I agree, man. And for that reason, you're definitely getting Garnacho as well, because it's exactly the same situation. But yeah, Nash, what's your prediction on this one, bro?
Going for 2-2, same as Rhys. I see it's going to be a fiery game, but you know, I'm looking forward to it. Ekitike scored 2 to establish a point that Liverpool don't need him.
All right, so I'm the outlier then, because you guys have all either gone. Well, wait, I'm checking the scores now. You've all gone draws, yeah? 1-1s or 2-2s. Ray went for a big Liverpool win. I went for a tight Liverpool win, 2-1. I'm the only one who's gone Newcastle win. So I've gone Newcastle 2-1. It's definitely going to be fiery, but let's not forget Newcastle have got a semi-decent-ish record against Poole in big games recently. Obviously beat him in the Carabao Cup final. I know Isak was in that one, but I think they're going to find a way. And that defence, before you've had this right-back crisis, was already looking shaky. But I'm sorry, if you play your 70 million midfielder or Khem or whatever at right-back, I don't have faith in him when Elanga or Gordon's breezing past him. I think he's going to have a long, long day. I'm going 2-1
he can run
Newcastle.
though. That's his thing. Running's his thing.
Yeah,
so it actually is fine.
Is
Gordon's
it
playing through
pace
the
or
middle.
just energy? I don't know. Yeah, Gordon will play up top. I agree with that, but
And it will stink.
just stick Elanga on him. No problem. Elanga's the fastest player in the league. Sabazzo can have 15 lungs. He's not got acceleration to keep up with Elanga. I'm sorry. You can have all the inhalers allegedly. You're still not going to be able to keep up with him. So yeah, I've got Newcastle 2-1. Obviously partly wishful thinking, but I do believe there is a chance that they can pull it off. But they're gonna have to like control themselves, because I do see a chance that what Johnson and Razor have said where they get a bit too fiery and get red cards, and Joe Linton gets caught for elbowing someone's head off. Like, it's highly possible. So they're gonna
They'll
have
be
to...
fine. Simon Hooper's the ref.
Oh yeah, get your conspiracies out. All right, so that's all the predictions in. I'll quickly...
No, but wait,
chuck
and before you say that, you didn't tell us. Do you think Isak is going to him or not?
Okay. No, I don't think you will. And I think it literally is just going to come down to cash. And it's for every single point that you've all made, but especially all the ones that Rhys made. It's a World Cup year. He's got 3 years left on the contract. He's not going to want to rot in reserves. He's got to play. He's got his, Gyökeres, who's, I know they play them together, but he's his competition for Sweden's centre forward. Is going to play every week at Arsenal. He's most likely going to score a fair amount of goals. He's got to play games, man. And as much as Liverpool are offering 110, 120s, I believe Newcastle when they say they need 150 or get out of here. So I don't think you're going to pay 150, bro. I think you might get close.
How much do you think Isak goes for next year? How much do you reckon he goes for
they'll
next
get
year?
less money for him. They'll get
That's
less
the
money
thing.
for him.
This is the highest his value will ever be because he's 25.
But they don't care
It's the
about
highest his value will ever be.
But
But they're a stupid team. They're crying about PSR and they're turning down a record fee. That's the statement they've made to their fans that they're idiots. They lost their sporting director. They knew he was going and they still haven't replaced him. Eddie Howe's up at 5 a.m. in Singapore trying to do transfer deals as well as preparing a team. They're a stupid team. Like, they're moaning about PSR for the last few years, saying there's a Big Six cartel, and you've been offered a record sum for a player that you know wants to go. He's made it abundantly clear. The whole world knows he's going to go. So why would we offer the highest? Why would we offer what they want? That's what I'm trying to... They're stupid for turning that down.
No, because you want the player.
They asked for a player in
player
return. We just flipped Ben Doak for 25 million. They could have asked for some talent.
Don't talk about that because you took their number one target, right? You're talking about all of this. You took their number one target. You spat in their face, which is typical of what comes out of the Liverpudlian region, apparently, right? You spat in their face, took their number one player, and now you're trying to lowball them for their player, bro. They'll take. You can give them 70 million. I wouldn't be surprised if next season they just say he's not going Liverpool, whatever happens, because you best believe there's going to be other teams in for him. You need to move. You need to move in with that money. Put the cash in the briefcase. Stick it on top of the ladder. And let them go and get it.
But no, he wasn't their number one target though. They'd already been rejected about 5 times this summer, guys. Are you forgetting that?
Exactly,
like,
and you had to make it even worse. You took away another one. He was literally the closest thing that they could have got to another Isak, and you stole him from right under their face to say to them, "You're a little boy," and now you're trying to little boy them again. That's why statements are coming out. You ain't getting them.
It's been confirmed that we were trying to get Ekitike for time, though. We were linked with him back in March, like when this all started. And don't forget, we were going to sell Nunes and Arthur striker died.
You got him. Now be happy with it.
One. We needed to replace 2 strikers, though.
Go get Whistle.
You got to pay the money, bro. I think that's what it's going to come down to. I think all of this other stuff.
On the table. Put your money on the table.
Yeah.
Stop being cheap. Put your money.
What was the first bid? 110 base and some add-on or something, wasn't it?
It's not enough.
I can't remember.
Bossman don't care.
You were quick to scream net.
Say that again.
You were quick to scream net spend for Liverpool, so start getting that net.
Yeah, we're gonna have to sell someone again.
Hey, Chelsea! The Chelsea Liverpool brotherhood is over.
It's crumbling.
Our net spend is all right. Our net spend is pretty good now at the moment compared to.
Yeah, but that's why you gotta go. You gotta go and buy him. Then just drop the 150 on the table. Do it, man. Like,
honestly, guys, we haven't sold Tsimikas yet. Don't worry, we'll get them. We'll claw it back. We have to.
Probably got 45
million for him. Exactly. Sell him to Bournemouth again for 45 million. But like, you're gonna have to put the cash on the table. That's the only way I see it happening. If it was another club who didn't have the leverage or didn't have, like, it also comes to a pride thing, right? Like, you can't come to a lot of these clubs with Middle Eastern owners and try and like lowball them. They're not having it, man. You've got to pay the dosh.
Here's one thing. Here's one thing, and then I'll just wrap it up real quick. We've spent, and you guys will probably jump on it straight away. Obviously, a lot's been spent on Wirtz, right? They have reinvested that straight away, and they've bought, I think, 11 or 12 players, and I think the average age of them is like 22 or something, man. Newcastle had an opportunity to plug and fill Actually, let me not say that. You know, it's going to be an immediate pause. But they had an opportunity to correct loads of positions around the pitch and add some depth from selling one player that clearly wanted to go, and it's supposedly been promised that he was allowed to go if they're not going to give him a pay rise. So they've let pride ruin their season, because let's face it, they're not going to make it out of the Champions League group phase, are they? Therefore, that's more money gone. Enjoy the Europa League or Conference League at best, and that's going to set them back another few years because of pride. They're stupid, so they can carry on crying on TalkSport. I hope they enjoy being mid-table. They might actually swap with Man United.
All right, I can't believe you've got me defending Newcastle so hard, but nah, man, you're not gonna get him, because you're not gonna pay the 150, and he's gonna have to come back with his tail between his legs, and Isak is the big loser in all this, because he's gonna have to play for them again. The Geordies are gonna have to. I don't know how they're gonna forgive him, but he's gonna have to go and play for them again, and it's gonna be.
They're gonna throw coins at him.
He's going to have to find someone's bunk bed as well. He's going to need to sleep on somebody else's bunk bed for a couple of months as well, because he's given his house away as well.
Travel lodge for the rest of the season. All right, yeah. Let's wrap this up then. Let's go through the prediction league table real quick. So the fellow who has not attended this episode, Io, is top of the table, 5 points, 1 correct score. At the moment, it's just purely alphabetical order, because Rhys has got the exact same stats, 5 points, 1 correct score. Jonty is in third, 5 points, no correct scores. I'm in fourth with 4 points and no correct scores. And then we've literally got a 3-way tie at the bottom. Khem, Nash, and Rhys are all with 3 points, no correct scores. Obviously, because of the alphabet, Rhys at the bottom. So, that's including the Chelsea predictions that we all made yesterday into it. So we've obviously got the City-Tottenham game, which is going on right now. Doesn't look good for a lot of us. Arsenal, Leeds, Fulham United, and then that Newcastle Liverpool game on Monday night. So let's see how it shakes up. But yeah, let's wrap it up, guys. Almost 2 hours. A great episode. A lot of engagement in the chat. I can see people still posting this. There we go. So yeah, let's wrap it up here. Next week, let's pray for a smooth intro. Going to be 4th time trying. But yeah, wrap it up here. Take care, guys. Good episode.
Cheers.
Bye.